What day is it?
June 19th.
You know what that means?
No.
Well then, I gotta get to Twitter. Well, since I'm back from the hospital from getting my stomach pumped, and it's still June 19th, I guess we can play the game that made you remember the date, June 19th, 2025. Oh yeah. Despite what this video's thumbnail intentionally alludes to, I want to preface this video by saying that this video is not going to be one of those grifter video essays where some Gamergate asshole complains about wokeness in video games and other pieces of media. I'm not that kind of person, and if you want that kind of video, I recommend you click off this video because this is going to be an intelligent discussion of what Call of Duty Black Ops 2 can teach you about history and foreign policy. So if you are of a certain age and demographic, you probably know what Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is, and most likely have fond memories of it. And if you've played the game, today's date will sound very familiar. It is June 19th, 2025, and what the hell, since it's the supposedly black future, let's take a look back at this game and see what it can teach us about US foreign policy and offer us some guidance on how to make a better future. This is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Developed by Treyarch and published by Activision and released for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC on November 13th, 2012, with a Wii U port coming not too long after the fact. Upon the release of the game, it saw mostly average to positive reviews, with some praising its introduction of story choices, while others criticizing it for its refusal to stray too far from the established formula. Metacritic particularly tore this game a new asshole for perceived formulaicness. And you can definitely tell that critics were beginning to tire of Call of Duty's formula. However, this wouldn't deter people from buying the game, as it earned a record $500 million in first day sales. And when it was all said and done, it'd have a total of over 29 million units sold, making it the 6th best-selling entry in the series. Spoiler warning for this video because I'll be discussing the story. And if you don't want spoilers, I don't know, browse Reddit or something. Okay, so considering this is a sequel, it would be good to have played the previous entry to understand every nuance of the story. But it is far from required to play this game because it's a pretty self-contained story. The story begins in 2025 with a group of soldiers led by David Section Mason interviewing a man in a wheelchair in a retirement home. The man in the wheelchair is the 92-year-old Frank Woods. If you played the previous game, he'll be very familiar, and he gets interviewed about his personal history, the newest terrorist threat, a Nicaraguan man named Raul Menendez, who went by the online handle Odysseus, and who has triggered mass uprisings around the world in the name of a movement known as Cordis Die. Woods reveals in these interviews that Menendez started out as a drug dealer trying to make ends meet in the chaos of the Nicaraguan Revolution, and he developed a hatred of the United States and West because their intervention destroyed his livelihood, killed many of his family members, and thus he wants revenge on them. Okay, I'm going to stop myself right there. Menendez is fucking based as hell. Yes, while Menendez is a killer and by no means a good person that you should look up to, this game does quite a lot to make you sympathize with Menendez's struggle, being found on the wrong side of American imperialism. This game is surprisingly critical of America as a force on the global stage. Take, for instance, the mission Time and Fate, set in 1986, where the Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega aids you, but due to Woods' pent-up anger with Menendez after previous events in the story, Woods tosses a grenade intended for Menendez, but instead of killing him, it accidentally kills his beloved sister, Josefina, and ends up reaffirming Menendez's already developing hatred for America. America's unwise actions during the Cold War ended up creating a dangerous terrorist threat later on. Where have I heard that before? Well then, I guess they beat me to making that analogy. Menendez's revenge plot would begin in 1989 during the US invasion of Panama, where he cuts a deal with Noriega to convince Woods to shoot a body that Noriega claims is Menendez, only to reveal that the body is actually Alex Mason, presumably killing Mason. It's almost like America shouldn't go around helping just any old dictator who says they can help us in fighting our target. Now, my only criticism for this mission is that they left out the part where the Americans harassed Noriega out of hiding by rickrolling him. Another interesting detail from the story that has gotten more relevant as time goes on is that Menendez hosted a rally in Yemen where he gathers a massive crowd of people who are angry with America, and this is surprisingly accurate to our modern day, as in 2025, an official American government Twitter page posted a video of American drones bombing a tribe meeting in Yemen in the name of counterterrorism. And what do you know, later in the same mission, American drones attack Yemen. I love this game's story so much, and I love that it doesn't shy away from showing the dark side of America's foreign policy. And it feels like a breath of fresh air in comparison to other Call of Duty games around the same time, which can feel like mindless nationalistic pro-American imperialist slop that uncritically supports everything America does. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is still generally pro-America, and you can go about playing the game with the mindset that America's unquestionably the good guys. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is by no means on the same level as Spec Ops The Line, but I greatly appreciate the game's attempts to show the morally gray reality of the Cold War, which is something I wish the previous Black Ops game attempted to do. So props to Treyarch for making a Call of Duty game that has a message that goes beyond America is great because they spread freedom. And I honestly wish more Call of Duty games did something like this with their stories. But then again, perhaps more Call of Duty games doing that would make Black Ops 2 less unique and give me less of a reason to talk about it and continue to go back to it. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 makes a great point about how we should go about foreign policy. Look at the news. Indiscriminate bombings of Yemen, or money being sent to apartheid states like Israel to fund genocide. The current President Donald Trump classifying drug cartels as terrorist threats, thus allowing us to send counter-terrorist forces to destroy the livelihoods of many people like Raul Menendez, who only got into the drug business because they needed to lift themselves out of poverty, not to mention all the things America has done in the past. While Raul Menendez may be a fictional character, someone such as him isn't impossible. The more foreign wars we fight and the more we fund genocide, the more likely we are to gain a new, possibly very dangerous enemy. Take, for instance, Osama bin Laden. Why did Osama bin Laden hate America? Well, he claimed it was because America supported Russia's genocide against Chechen Muslims and our support of Israel's genocide of Palestinians. Not to mention America's numerous military interventions in Muslim countries such as Iran and Iraq. Now, of course, I'm not making the case that Osama bin Laden was a good person. He was a terrible mass murderer, but my point is that America's foreign policy, and who we supported, ended up serving to radicalize a person into being a mass murderer that killed thousands of innocent people. Why do I bring up Osama bin Laden? Because he and Raul Menendez, while both being very different politically speaking, one being real and another one being fictional, both represent America's foreign policy creating their own dangerous enemy. The only way to avoid creating another Osama bin Laden or Raul Menendez is to radically change how America goes about foreign policy. This is the message I take away from Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Was I looking too deep into this game? Maybe, but I still think I made a good point. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, either intentionally or unintentionally, served as a great warning to America and any other nation that wishes to exert its imperial power. It's a surprisingly woke message that not very many pieces of media from America, especially ones released around the time, have about the war on terror. Now, I'm no means advocating for an isolationist America in this video, because isolationism can never be successfully achieved in this day and age, and isolationism isn't the solution to the problem, because America's refusal to do anything and cutting aid to people who need it gives people other reasons to hate us. What I'm saying is that America needs to be more wise about who they support and what they support. Kudos to you, Treyarch. This has been Party Dude, and I'll see you next time. Party Dude out.